new season of the Right Along with Vanessa morning show starts now. This week's episode is sponsored by Dollhouse of Tampa Salon and Studio. Find your inner doll. They offer quick weaves, sew-ins, and much, much more to fit every occasion. Need a wig? Selena's got you. She will customize a unit just for you. Book your next appointment on Booksy today. Did someone say nails? Honey, forget the Bayhive. Contact Queen Bee herself. She offers customized designer nails and even designer press-ons that she will customize and ship to you. Braids, and even twists. Book with Tiffany right on Facebook. Find your inner doll at Dollhouse Tampa Salon and Studio. Tampa. The Stay in Love TV podcast is here. Enjoy topics that will inspire, encourage, and empower you. Why not listen together? Stay in Love TV, now on Spotify. This week's episode is sponsored by Hustle and Bling. It don't mean a thing if you ain't got that bling. Lovely paparazzi designer pieces for only $5. That's right, $5. And don't worry about it if the kid gets in the jewelry box. They're only $5. Make sure you catch Allison Mondays and Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Thursdays, live on Instagram and Facebook, promoting some of these wonderful fashion fixes that you'll enjoy. And if you miss it, check out the website. It don't mean a thing if it ain't got that bling. Hustle and Bling. Stay in Love TV is your production to distribution solution to getting your message seen and heard. Having your own TV show with Stay in Love TV has never been easier than now. Stay in Love TV gives you the power to share your message with the world. Stop watching TV and start being watched on TV. Stay in Love TV offers real-time multicasting, all with one click. This opportunity puts you on the world stage with an audience of over 200 million. In addition to your low monthly subscription fees, you will also receive monthly network coaching and training from the network itself to ensure that before your first show premieres, you are set up for success. We at Stay in Love TV bring over 20 years experience in sales, marketing, advertising, and business development. Stay in Love TV, purposeful entertainment driven by love, empowered with passion, fueled with faith. Go to www.stayinlovetv.com and let's get started. Hello everyone. I am Vanessa Klinger, your intuitive life strategist and life coach motivator. Welcome to the Right Along with Vanessa morning show, where we provide you 100% free coaching at your service. Raw, real enlightenment at its best. So come on in and enjoy the ride as we take you higher into the dimensions of God. It's a brand new season. We're in a brand new city. And guess what? Everything is going your way. You guys ready? Let's go! How are you? I am Vanessa Klinger, your intuitive life strategist and life coach motivator. Welcome to the Right Along with Vanessa morning show, where we provide you 100% free coaching at your service, raw, real enlightenment at its best. So come on in and enjoy the ride as we take you higher into the dimensions of God. How are you guys doing on this fun, fantastic, funky Friday? Yes. It is summertime. Summertime is here. It is here, you all. And I'm telling you that if it is so hot here. I mean, it's like
I didn't think it would be this hot, but it is. I mean, it's compared to Florida, it's hotter to me. And I mean, if you don't have everything done by 9, 10 a.m., don't go outside. Just don't go outside and participate unless you have to. Unless you have to. All right. I am Vanessa Klinger, your intuitive life strategist and life coach motivator. Welcome to the Right Along with Vanessa Morning Show, where we provide you 100% free coaching at your service, raw real enlightenment at its best. So come on in and enjoy the ride as we take you higher into the dimensions of God. Yes, 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 indeed. Yes, it's time for the Friday song, I believe. Yep, yep. Long week, interesting week. I mean, it is what it is, right? I mean, okay, so interesting week. Some of you all are going through some major shifts and changes in your life, and especially after the last 2 years, 2.5 years going on, going through some major changes and shifts, and now you're getting your footing again, and starting to realize your power and starting to adopt more Christ consciousness and starting to adopt more the liberty of not giving a rip, because you realize, because you've received clarity from on high, and now you realize, yeah, you got clarity, man. Something about clarity just gets you in that different posture, in that place of just, like, you know what? hmm Yeah, I know it. I know it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I choose not to engage in that anymore because it's not good for my spirit. You're starting to realize that your spirit is more important than any of this stuff. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, product definition. So stick around and tune in, because we'll be catching up with that shortly. But before we get into our lecture and talk today, we have this routine where, you know, good day, Spirit. Good day, Cozy. Good day, Reverend Ike. Been listening to you all week. Yes, Stuart Wild. Hello. Catherine Kuhlman, Dolores Cannon, host of Witnesses, Ancestors, everybody. Thank you so much for your presence on this beautiful, beautiful day. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yep, 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 yep. So it's time for the Friday song, everybody. And get started here. A one, a two, a one, two, three. It's Friday. It's Friday. It's Friday. It's Friday. Yay! Things are going my way. Things are going my way. Things are going my way. Things are going your way. Things are going your way. Things are going your way. And today is the day. And today is the day. It is fun, fantastic, funky Friday. Welcome again to the Right Along with Vanessa Morning Show. We provide you 100% free coaching at your service, raw real enlightenment at its best. So come on in and enjoy the ride as we take you higher into the dimensions of God. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so guys, had to put the ride along mobile in the shop. I was in a fender bender here. My first accident. I mean, I have never had an accident. Let me think about that. Thank you for reminding me, Spirit. That is not true. I have had an accident, but not where I've hit someone, right? Or someone's hit me. I have been in, like, a little where I swerved off the road and got, ended up in an embankment, and it was just me. But as far as like where it involved another vehicle, no. And so we had to put the ride along mobile in the shop. And I'm hoping that by the time we have the season finale, because they said 3 or 4 weeks, so depending on everything. So I'm hoping that before the season finale, we'll get the ride along mobile back. If not, we're going to be in this beautiful little rental here with air conditioning. Yes. Oh boy. Okay. Yeah. So we did the Friday song. I hope you guys have had a chance to go run and get yourself a refreshing beverage because it's time for the deliverance prayer. And hopefully you have been participating in the deliverance prayer. You have scripted out and uh, written out your own version of your own deliverance prayer. Let me explain to you how this works. If you put that intention out there, we're in such an interesting time because of the collective, because of the energetic collective of folks who are on the same frequency, that we are attracting things much quicker. They're manifesting. They're coming into our visual, our experience much quicker. True. Um, been doing this since we launched. I think it was March. Yeah, I can't remember. We've been doing quite a few. And just this week, I attracted a more concise affirmation. Yeah. And I'll share it with you all next week because I want you all to continue this even after the season finale and we go into restreams and the summer break. That you also have this coupled with your daily affirmation for this because I truly want and desire, I truly desire that you all are liberated in those areas where you feel stuck, in those areas where you feel not necessarily trapped, but confined, restricted, held back because of this one little thing or this last little thing that's impeding your progress, your spiritual progress. So I'll be sharing that with you all next week. I'll make sure I have it in my notes here so I can make sure you all get it. But today we have the 30-day deliverance prayer, and it goes a little something like this. Let me read, see if I can read from the prompter here. Yeah. Dear God, angels, guides, and spirits of who serve our Almighty Creator, the source of all things, I desire not to experience this anymore. So I'm asking for support to get me in a space where this is no longer a part of my life experience. May there be no harm to my body or my soul as this change takes place because it's possible. I ask that the code be rewritten now. Thank you, God and mighty ancestors, for empowering me to meet this objective. And I kind of vaguely remember that affirmation, but I am so grateful now that I'm completely free from all addictions, bad habits, and what's the word? And bad habits and behaviors and detrimental behaviors, right? So I'll make sure I have it for you all next week. So tune in next Friday. We'll have that. But that's the 30-day deliverance prayer, and it's just to kind of give a framework and outline, a framework uh, uh, prayer for you to write out your own and outline it and conform it and align it to your specific desire, your deliverance desire. Okay. All right. So yep. So now we're moving on to our spiritual PSA, Matthew 11:28 and 30. And all of these Bible scripture translations come, I go strictly to Bible Gateway. That's my only source when it comes to my Bible scriptures, because they have a whole slew of different translations, and you can really, and you'll have more access to different translations, to different perspectives and points of views. Bible Gateway, yeah. So Matthew 11:28 through 30. This is a Message translation, and this is what I consider and call your spiritual PSA. That's right. Matthew 11:28 and 30. Are you tired? Worn out? Burned out on religion? Come to me. Get away with me, and you'll recover your life. I'll show you how to take a real rest. Walk with me and work with me. Watch how I do it. Learn the unforced rhythms with grace. I won't lay anything heavy or ill-fitting on you. Keep company with me, and you'll learn to live free and life. Mm. I mean, it's true. It's true. You'll have your moments and stuff like that, but you're not as. I mean, it's not as impactful to you as much as possible. I mean, like these little hiccups that we're having here. I mean, I don't have my normal car, so I have to make sure that this camera is positioned. Otherwise, it just flops over. But that's okay because we're making it work. Good morning, good day, podcast listeners. Thank you so much for tuning in as you're enjoying the Ride Along with Vanessa morning show. So now that we've done the spiritual PSA, we've done the welcome, we've done all of that, we can now go and go to commercial. We go to commercial, and then after we run the commercial, we'll be coming back with today's lecture, product definition, the ultimate test, and it's the story of Job. And I was able to break it down and give you some really points, good points. Thanks to AI, was able to really help uh, expedite the delivery of this information. So I really am grateful for my little AI little app there that helps me. So when I come back from today, from the commercial run, we'll be discussing product definition, story of Job, and it's the book of Job. So find it in your Bible. So stay tuned.
The Stay in Love TV podcast is here. Enjoy topics that will inspire, encourage, and empower you. Why not listen together? Stay in Love TV, now on Spotify. Get ready for your now awakening. Today's Michelleology, Monday, 7 a.m. Eastern, only on Stay in Love TV. Get your copy of Mental Equation, available on Amazon and on Stay in Love TV. Today's Michelleology. Seven. Hello, everyone. Vanessa Klinger here. Join the great Michelle Massey Washington and I for another exciting season of Spiritually Speaking and Awakening. This ain't your typical Bible study. Get ready to become enlightened as we continue to provide a modern day perspective on the biblical scriptures, where we teach God's principles and the practices of Christ as we continue to magnify everything that Christ represented. The purpose of watching and listening to our show is that you leave enlightened and filled with joy. Would you like to become a guest on Spiritually Speaking and Awakening? Well, we would love to have you. Join in on the discussions, share your story, promote your product, service, and your upcoming event. Go to www.stayinlovetv.com, leave your details, and we'll contact you. Stay in love.
That's right. That's right. Last Sunday, we had the season finale of Spiritual Speaking and Awakening. And I'm telling you, we had an entire panel of guests. We had Dr. Joe D. Bear stopping by. We had Rex Sykes join us and enlighten us. And we had Lydia Burden, Fred Calloway, Queenie Brown, all join us and share with us and impart with us their supernatural visitation story, along with providing an array of what their services and what they have to offer and everything. And I'm telling you, if you didn't get a chance to watch it, go ahead, download the Stay in Love TV app. You'll find the Spiritually Speaking channel. You'll see it right there in the spirituality section, and catch up on it. I'm telling you, it was such a great show, and I want each and every one of you to enjoy it. Now, good podcast listeners, okay? I want you all to really promote Stay in Love TV. It's the summer. People are going to be going on vacation. They're going to be in their cars more. Why not download the Stay in Love TV app? Enjoy it on your road trip. You can listen to all of the shows and really get a taste a good consumable taste and ingestion of what Stay in Love TV has to offer. So, podcast listeners, I'm asking you to really just share, 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 share. Turn people on to Stay in Love TV. Social media platform users, share, share, share Stay in Love TV page here on Facebook, on Instagram, TikTok, uh, what it has to offer. I really believe that what we have to share is a different perspective, and it's aligning with and different points of views. It's aligning with what others also are starting to really come into the knowledge of a version of the truth. So I really believe that these shows deliver tremendous, tremendous spiritual value. So turn everybody on to Stay in Love TV, because we're getting ready to wrap up the season for the network altogether. We wrapped up Spiritually Speaking and Awakening last Sunday. In about 3 weeks, we're going to be wrapping up the Right Along with Vanessa morning show. And also we'll be wrapping up today's Michelleology, which is streaming on Mondays, 7 a.m. So go ahead, download the Stay in Love TV app. So when you're going on vacation, you're in the car, just plug in your headset and check out some of the shows. I'm telling you, you are not going to be disappointed. Stay in Love TV does not disappoint. All right, enough of that plugging, okay? All right, because today's lecture, we're talking about product definition, the ultimate test. The ultimate test. So grab your Bible apps. So you should have gotten them already. The book of Job. And we're going to do the, where is it? Where is my, oh, okay, it's not there, but I do have it. Scripture highlight, Job 1 through 3. Yeah, Job 1 through 3. Job was a man who lived in Uz. He was honest inside and out. Ooh, a man of his word who was totally devoted to God and hated evil with a passion. He had 7 sons and 3 daughters. He was also very wealthy. 7,000 head of sheep, 3,000 camels, some about 7 and 3. Y'all see that? 500 teams of oxen, 500 donkeys, and a huge staff of servants. Some say he had almost 500 servants. The most influential man in all the East. Okay. His sons used to take turns hosting parties in their homes, always inviting their 3 sisters to join them in their merrymaking. When the parties were over, Job would get up early in the morning and sacrifice a burnt offering for each of his children, thinking maybe one of them sinned by defying God inwardly. Job made a habit of this sacrificial atonement just in case they sinned. Yep. That's the scripture highlight, right? But, we're going to go through briefly, because it's only an hour show, right? We only got about a good 40 minutes of talk time. So we're going to go through and highlight the story, because product definition, okay? And I got the title from it was downloaded. But being a product, we are a product of our creator, So I was like, what is product definition? Dig this now, because this is going right into the setup, right? Product definition refers to the process of defining and describing a product in detail. This includes identifying its purpose, features, benefits, and target audience. An effective product definition helps ensure that a product meets customer needs and is successful in the marketplace. Okay, product definition, the story of Job. Who would you be if you lost it all? Okay, all right, we getting ready to get down, okay? All right, so there it is. Product definition refers to the process of defining and describing a product in detail. This includes identifying its purpose, features, benefits, and target audience. An effective product definition helps ensure that a product meets customer needs and is successful in the marketplace. What does this have to do with Job? I'm trying to help you understand this, right? when, and where is it? Yep, here we go. The main scripture point was verses 6 through 12. Yep, Job chapter 1, verses 6 through 12. One day when the angels came to report to God, Satan, who was a designated accuser, you hear that? Designated accuser, came along with them. God singled out Satan and said, "What have you been up to?" Everybody got a part to play. I shared this with y'all. I think it was last season, whatever. Somebody has to play back. That was this season. Everybody has a part to play. Okay, so the designated accuser. You're designated. You gonna play the part of the accuser. So I need you. Come here. What you been up to? He said, going here and there, checking things out on earth, making sure my world is still flourishing. Y'all know I'm ad-libbing. God said to Satan, "Have you noticed my friend Job? There's no one quite like him. Honest and true to his word, totally devoted to God and hating evil with a passion." Satan retorted, "So you think Job does all of that out of the sheer goodness of his heart? Why? Why no one ever had it so good? You pamper him like a pet, make sure nothing bad ever happens to him or his family or his possessions. Bless everything he does. He can't lose. I'd be happy too if everything was always going well for me." But what would you think would happen if you reached down and took away everything that is his? He'd curse you right to his face. That's what I know what he'd do. I'd do it. That's what I would do. You took everything, you put me here, and I'm not supposed to be here. And then you bless me, and I'm fortunate with all these wonderful possessions and things, and then excite my senses, and you get me here in this place, and I you know I love you, and I'm not doing anything wrong, and you pull the rug out from under me, I would curse you too. God replied, "We'll see. Go ahead, do what you want with all that is his, just don't hurt it." Then Satan left the presence of God and went to business, and that's what he did. He conspired and got his angels together and said, "Okay, look, we got a good mission. Our subject, our target is Job. Our target is Job. Okay, so we need to have an action plan because there's some things that we need to do. We've been given the green light. We're going to go ahead and attack this target, Job." So the first thing they did, what happened? His livestock somebody went in and stole his livestock, and his servants were killed by raiders. Okay, you give me all this stuff, and I done got robbed, my livestock. Then fire from heaven destroyed Job's sheep and more of his servants. Okay, so before he get an attack from the material world and the spiritual world. I mean, good gracious, one thing after another. But it ain't done. It ain't over. Here's another one. After that, Job's camels were stolen and more of his servants were killed. I guess the ones that hid from the first attack, they finally got him. I'm telling you, it's like, wow. Finally, a strong wind caused the collapse of the house where Job's children were feasting, killing all of them. Not some of them, all of them. Okay. Now, on top of all that, livestock being raided and robbed, his servants killed, his sheep burned up from lightning from heaven, his servants and more of his servants were killed. All of his servants were killed. After that, Job's camels were stolen and servants, and a tornado, strong wind, caused by the collapse of the house where Job's children were feasting, killing all. I mean, that then on top of all that, he was afflicted with painful boils all over his body. Despite all these losses and suffering, Job refused to curse God and maintain his faith. Okay, we're gonna break down the attack. Okay, so let's do it. Okay, so what caused this attack, right? So we gotta break down this story. Okay, so here's this man. Loving God, hating evil. Eventually, he was walking upright before God, and he had no tolerance for anything that was not of God. Okay, I mean, Job was a stand-up dude in the community, setting the example, praising God, sharing God's amazing grace and wonders to the people, because Job was top notch, right? But if you look at it, it got to the point where fear. Look at what it says in verse 5, 4 or 5. His sons used to take turns hosting parties, so that his family was happy. They was having a good time, children getting along. But what Job did after they party, he's like, I know they done something. Somebody done smoked some dope or did a line of coke or something. Somebody done did something they ain't had no business. So let me just on their behalf, let me just sacrifice and go pray for my children out of fear. I'm coming from a posture. I'm taking a posture of fear of what might happen, of anticipated. So he's taking anticipated action to prevent a possible outcome, right? But what Job did not realize was that every day he was feeding a scenario with input. What was that input? That input was that fear-based prayer. God, I know my children, I know they're just young and just doing, and so I'm just on their behalf, God. I just know they probably done did something. So in an effort to prevent anything from coming against them, I'm just sacrificing on their behalf, God. You know, fear. You see it? So he was that doggone enemy. He attacked at the beginning because God asked him, so where you been? Oh, I've been roaming the earth looking for this and that, whatnot. He had already got started. The enemy, the opposing thought force had already got started by inflicting fear, by feeding Job with these images, scenarios. So every day he was doing it. Maybe one of them saying by defying God. So he made a habit of this sacrificial atonement. A habit. Okay, let's underline that, right? So a habit of sacrificial atonement. Okay, so I grew up in the church, right? So the church, you had these people, and these people over the elders and the deacons, all these people. Okay, so they would open up the church and they'd have prayer, and you know and you could always tell the ones who had the same prayer, they had the same inflection. Excuse me. And then at the right moment, they'd have the climax, right? Job made a habit of this sacrificial atonement. Oh God. Oh, so it was repetitive. It was scripted. It was an it was an automated prayer, right? So although Job received high spiritual marks from God, he was sufficient. Why would you say that, Vanessa? Because he allowed fear to get into his camp. Fear of what might happen. Mark Twain said, and I'm paraphrasing because I can only remember what he said, but he said 90% of the stuff I worried about never happened. So Job was concerned, worried, creating scenarios, providing input to an experience every day by making it a habit of not the sacrificial atonement. What was wrong? It was the intention and the energy and the inflection behind what he was praying. He was praying fear-based prayer. So anytime you attach fear with emotion, get ready for an experience. Get ready for a scenario to manifest in your life. That's why you can't be afraid about nothing. How can you be afraid of something when you know that this is all an illusion? Why should you be afraid of anything when you know that you are here on assignment, that this world is not your home? Why should you be afraid of anything? I'm not saying walk blindly and being, just totally ignorantly blissful. I'm saying you should not allow yourself to get caught up in any of this because it's not real. We are here on assignment by God to have an experience, right? So, well, aren't you afraid somebody gonna kill you? Well, if I do, my game will be over and I'll be with God, absent with the body, present with the Lord. Aren't you afraid? No. And let me tell y'all why. Because I done been through something, okay? I've had a lot of experiences where I've lost things. Things have been taken from me, stolen from me, raped, pillaged, the whole gamut, right? All experiences. And this is something I know for sure. That if you keep living, hey mama, if you keep living, restoration. This world replenishes itself. Do you notice that? Everything, it replenishes itself. We have the capability of replenishing our world, our experiences. We have the capability because we are creators. So, with that being said, as things come and go in my life, material things come and go. Is it inconvenient? Yeah, because when the situation happens where it's not aligning with what you thought would happen, where you had to, whatever, bad experiences where you have to pack up and do this and run, all that, you don't anticipate that to happen. If it does, guess what? God is a God of restoration. You are a creator. You are a God imitator. Therefore, you can restore your own life. Whoa! What are you talking about, Vanessa? Yes, you can restore your own life with that God power within you. How do you do that, Vanessa? Okay. Well, one thing, be hopelessly devoted to God. Are you hopelessly devoted to God? Are you hopelessly devoted to living a life that is pleasing to you, the God in you? Are you? Are you Jim Buffy or what if this happened? And see, it's all about your what you're witnessing, what you're seeing, right? I'm sure somewhere along the line, Job just, what if, it just got in his head. Oh, what if this happened? What if I got these children now? Now, what if I lose it all? I'm gonna work so hard for it, and I know how hard it is because it's hard out here. And I got all this stuff, and why is it the more stuff you have, the more you worry about something taking it? Now, when you was broken at a joke, you didn't care if somebody broke into that old hoopty to take it. You actually prayed that somebody would take it because the insurance, well, you could get a replacement. So why is it now that you got a little something you concerned, right? You concerned no, let me tell you something. We talked about this season. Detach yourself from these material possessions so they do not have you. You'll have them, but they won't have you. This will keep you attaching yourself emotionally to material things, right? So, because if you do, this is what's bound to happen. This explains it all, doesn't it? Job got emotionally attached to all his possessions, the things that he had attracted and manifested in his life. He got emotionally attached to. I feel the same in this car than I do in my other car. I'm not bragging and claiming that I'm completely detached from. No, because no one likes to have to replace their stuff. It's just an inconvenience, really. I don't really care what people think. I don't really care about how I live my life because I can sleep at night. Thank goodness. But the thing is that if you allow things to define you, then you are concerned what people think. you are concerned, what would this happen? So let me just try to put these precautionary measures in place just in case. Job had his spiritual insurance in place. He was paying his premiums every time his children got together and party. He'd get up early in the morning and sacrifice a burden. Job was burning his spirit, paying his spiritual premiums just in case something happened. And guess what? Something did happen. Why? Because he was feeding that prayer with emotion. He was feeding it with scenarios, because it said maybe one of them sinned by defying God inwardly. He was conceiving what might happen, right? So he was creating. And anytime you get a visual, when you're emotional, get ready for it to manifest in your life some type of way. And it did, didn't it? It manifested. I mean, ooh, wait. Job went through something. Livestock stolen. Fire from heaven. I mean, left and right. Left and right. I mean, all with your way but loose. Family, fortune, friends, finances, and function, aka health. Then he had the balls pop out on his body. And you know what? He got the left 2, 1, 2, 3 attack. See, there's only so much attack that can happen in this 3D world. So it's going to attack your material possession, your friends, your family, your finances, your function. So it's going to attack everything in your world that you created, that you manifested, that you're to attract and set up in your life. It's going to attack that, right? I call it the ultimate test. It's the ultimate test. And the way I see it happened was the attack, it was all at once. It was an ambush. It was a spiritual ambush because Job had grown comfortable. So God had to send a disruption in his life to disrupt this habit, this bad habit that was occurring in his life. He was maintaining it, and he was in a good vibrational place by loving, enjoying, and being grateful to God and serving God and all that. But that deficiency was going to ultimately, it's like termites, right? He was in his spiritual building, had come in because he was afraid, and he was sending up these fearful prayers of atonement just in case. He was paying his spiritual premium. So what God had to do, because he knew, guys, God's the author of the beginning and the middle and end, all that. He knew, right? So he's like, okay, go ahead. Have you considered my servant Job? He saw a deficiency. He saw a need. And guess what? Here come the enemy, right? Because it said that the enemy was assigned by God. Yes. So, yeah, designated accuser, right? So he said, okay. So that deficiency, right? Anytime you have a product, right? Let's go back to the definition here. The process of defining and describing a product in detail. So they in there up there talking about Job, right? God is describing the product in detail. He's identified his purpose, his features, his benefits, and the target audience, right? And so it helps ensure that the product meets the customer needs. So God's like, okay, Job could be the ultimate product, but there's a deficiency. And in order to meet all my needs and be successful in the marketplace, in this world, it's one thing. So yeah, come here, designated accuser. I got some work for you. You can't tell me that this is not some awesome experience, right? When you know who is ultimately in control, man, then you realize, oh, it's just a game. Then you can stay in that world of delusion. Man, trying to tell y'all, you need to get free. It's just an experience. Love the God in you, love your creator, operate on that frequency, and enjoy the ride. None of it means nothing. What about my kids? What about, look, you know what? If you want to get all deep, deep, deep into analysis paralysis, go right ahead. But if you want to view it from the perspective of this is a wonderful experience, I come from God and I know what the outcome is. I ain't got to hold on to see what the end gonna be. I know what the end gonna be now. Yeah, I'm gonna be in a better place. I'm gonna be on the other side of victory. That's where I'm gonna be. When you know, you can stop believing everything else that's coming at you. Be like, man, I don't care. I know what my outcome is. And it's not about being arrogant or anything. You just know. When you get into that space and place, none of these things move me. And mean it. So Job, right? He had one of these visions. God said, okay. So the 1, 2, 3 punch, he had to come through them all fours. And then on top of that, while he's sitting there by the fire, after the lightning done struck his house and set everything afire and killed everybody, he's sitting there, right, scraping the boils, scabs off into the fire. I love that part. You know, Job kind of reminds me of a Shakespearean play. It has that type of tone to it. Would you agree? So he's sitting there by the fire, scraping his scabs into the fire, you know, just probably contemplating life, like, oh, man, I don't know what the heck done happened. My greatest fear had come upon me. Here come his friends, right? So his friends, we had Eliphaz, Bildad, who else? Zophar, and his wife. Okay, so let's kind of sit and explore these people. So Eliphaz was the first friend to speak of in Job chapter 4. And he suggests that Job's suffering is a result of his sin. He argues that God is just and would not punish someone who's innocent. Job, it just don't make sense. You had to have done something, babe. What? I believe you done something. So we need to figure out what that is. So come on, let's sit down, have us a drink, and figure this out now, because you did something. And then here come Bildad, because I really believe that when things are happening in your life, let's go through these folks. But when things are happening in your life, and your friends and stuff come around, the people that truly sincere. I mean, they mean well, right? So like, look, let's figure this out. And then Bildad, the second friend, he also suggests that suffering and all these experiences could be the result of sin. And that's in chapter 8. He said, God is just, he punishes the wicked. You did something. You did something, right? You ever get in trouble? Somebody say, what you do? Because you do something, but it's not what you think it is, right? Okay. So Bildad is talking about it, right? And then we have Zophar, the third friend to speak up. And he also believes that Job's suffering is a punishment for his sin. Now, in Job chapter 11, can you imagine going through all these chapters? So that lets you know that this multi-chapter experience of Job's life, I mean, he went through a lot. So Zophar, the third friend to speak up, believes that Job's suffering is a punishment of his sin. And Zophar argues that God's wisdom is beyond human understanding and that Job should confess his sins in order to be restored. Now, this is the people that say you did something wrong, so you need to repent. You need to go and repent. And then you're like, but wait a minute, I don't know what I did wrong. So you're trying to figure out what in the hell you did, because somebody's saying you need to just confess. Man, confess. You know you did something. So just go ahead and confess. So I remember I was going in the church, and every Sunday we go and I pray and I be like, God, oh God, oh God, God, please deliver me from all my sins. Every day I made it a habit of making a sacrificial atonement, of paying a spiritual premium to God for experiences that weren't even a part of my life experience. But because of my fear-based prayers, I was creating these scenarios. And they had to happen. Why? Because we're creators and we come from God. And that was the thing that Job did not realize about himself. I'm a creator. He had the right approach and the right perspective in loving God and being a worshiper and a servant of God. But he allowed fear. And we know who fear comes from. Fear, God has not given us a spirit of fear. So where does fear come from? Right? So anytime you got fear show up in your life, somebody's lurking in the shadows, trying to inflict an experience. Watch it. Stay woke. Stay alert to the situations that are happening in your life, okay? Because when you start to feel fearful about something, and I make no mistake, anytime you get emotionally attached to something and you kind of want this to happen, because you don't want anything to have you, right? I mean, I never want to be where I just, you know, that should be your intention, right? So you should practice the art of disengagement. Practice the art of really seeing into things, right? Seeing that, it's just an experience. This is just for my visual pleasure. This is just for my experience, for me to have a pleasurable experience. Thank you, God. Whatever season, reason, or lifetime is here, I know it's all for my good. Hello, Dr. Lane. Whenever you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So as you are evolving in your life, you need to look at it differently. Otherwise, you're going to really mess it up. So, and his friend, their friends were okay, but they were operating from fear too. Even his wife. She was just mad as hell. But she was like, can you imagine? Okay, so the wife, she done got everything, right? And and then here come one thing. She was mad. She was like, look, why don't you just curse God and die? At least I can get some insurance money or something. She was mad. I mean, I can just imagine her children died, her house blew up, everything gone, everything destroyed. Because we women, we're creatures of comfort, right? So I'm sure she was probably laying up, having this, very comfortable lifestyle. Boom. So she was like, look, curse God and die. So I can just, collect my insurance money and leave town because I am so embarrassed and everything done happened. And I just don't have nothing. And everybody talking about us. Just die so I can just take this money and go on me a cruise and go to Europe somewhere and forget about all this. Because this is just not sexy. And it's not cool because you done promised me all this stuff and then now we got it and then now we lose it and all my children are gone. Curse him. So he's like, look, woman, I don't know what's wrong with you. Don't you realize naked in the world I came and naked I'm gonna leave. This is just stuff. Though he slay me, I'm gonna trust him. I don't know what the hell is going on. I thought I was doing everything right. Something happened. I just need to figure out what it was. You ever been there? All hell is breaking loose in your life and you don't know what exactly happened. Wait a minute now, God. Okay, pay my tithes, check. Went to church every Sunday, check. Served in the church, check. Fed the homeless, check. Visited in prison, check. Went to the hospital, check. Stayed away from sexual sin, check. What do you mean? What did I do? I'm telling you, you go through your checklist, right? You be trying to figure out what, piece it together. There's Job sitting by the fire, scraping the boiled scabs off him, which means that indicated that he was healing somehow. So he's scraping it off. He's just trying to figure it out. Wait a minute, check. What is it, God? So his friends, coming around trying to, counsel him and provide their feedback and input. And they're like, no, I just don't believe that I've sinned. And it's during those moments when this is where you really need to, I got 4 minutes, when you really need to stand and trust in God, not lean on him now, but just sit there and go, wait a minute, God, help me understand Where it is I missed it, because I know I did. Not necessarily in a major way, because his friend was like, this is something major, because a major event, right? No, sometimes, thank you, sometimes the slightest, smallest moves can make the greatest impacts. So Job had this one slight miss that impacted his entire life experience. That one little thing. So it's the one small moves that make the greatest impact on both sides of the spectrum. So because he was fear-based, it created his house to crumble. When you transfer and make it faith-based, then it'll reestablish his home. And that's how he got there, right? I mean, he's sitting there and then he's like, this I believe was a major turning point in Job's life when he said, though he slay me, I'm going to trust him. I don't know what's going on, but God, I trust you. When all hell is breaking loose in your life, look up for your redemption draws now. Job was like, look, I don't know what happened. My friends, I don't know. It just don't feel right, guys. I just don't feel like I've sinned in a major way. I don't feel I've missed it in a major way. And you, wife, I definitely ain't going to do that. Because I got to spend eternity with God. And I don't want to have to. No, that ain't it, baby. I know you mean well. I know you're just frustrated and angry. But no, that's not it. So God, enlighten me. Help me see where I missed it. And when he said, though he slay me, I trust him. Doesn't matter what happens, God. I ain't leaving. God is looking for people who are committed to the cause, committed to Christ's consciousness. Are you committed? God is looking for committed people that in spite of whatever's going on around me, God, I trust you. Are you committed? Well, no. Because as those things begin to fall apart in his life, and God saw his commitment, then his life began to restore. The story of Job in the Bible provides a powerful lesson on the importance of having a strong product definition and staying true to our beliefs, even in the face of adversity, especially in the face of adversity. Job's strong beliefs and values allowed him to remain faithful to God, even in the midst of great suffering. The story also emphasizes the importance of maintaining our faith and trusting God, even when we don't understand why we are facing certain difficulties or challenges. In the end, Job's unwavering faith and trusting God were rewarded, and he was blessed with even greater prosperity than before. Okay, so he wasn't really rewarded. This is what happened, y'all. When Job figured out where he missed it, right? God said, okay, it wasn't really a test. It was a test because he was testing his value, his product. He was testing Job, the product. So when you go through a series of tests from God, know that the manufacturer knows more than you. Know that this is for your ultimate good because of what the manufacturer is trying to achieve. See, his experience was he had all these wonderful blessings and stuff, right? But his fear was that it was corrupting everything. So it had to be disassembled and reassembled again so that when it was released out to the public, it's going to be a product of value. Now Job got double. God got a return on his investment. God got a return on his investment, and Job got a return on his investment. Double. So when you're going through the test and it seems like everything's falling apart, get excited because know that you are going to get a return on your investment. Why? Because of your faithfulness and trust in God. I am Vanessa Klinger, guys. I did it. I was able to get it done. I am Vanessa Klinger, your intuitive life strategist and life coach motivator. I'm telling you, download the Stay in Love TV app. Enjoy it for the summer because I'm telling you, these episodes, these lectures, these shows, I know in my heart of heart, one of those episodes is going to touch someone's heart and soul and spirit and reconnect them back to God so that they can even go up into higher higher dimensions of understanding Christ consciousness. I believe that with all my heart. I am Vanessa Klinger, your intuitive life strategist and life coach motivator. And until next Friday on the Ride Along with Vanessa morning show, also on Monday, make sure you tune in and watch the great Michelle Massey Washington on today's Michelleology. You ready for your now awake on today's Michelleology? Next Friday, right along with Vanessa Morning Show. I am Vanessa Klinger, your intuitive life strategist and life coach motivator. And until next time, stay in love.
Stay in Love TV is your production to distribution solution to getting your message seen and heard. Having your own TV show with Stay in Love TV has never been easier than now. Stay in Love TV gives you the power to share your message with the world. Stop watching TV and start being watched on TV. Stay in Love TV offers real-time multicasting, all with one click. This opportunity puts you on the world stage with an audience of over 200 million. In addition to your low monthly subscription fees, you will also receive monthly network coaching and training from the network itself to ensure that before your first show premieres, you are set up for success. We at Stay in Love TV bring over 20 years experience in sales, marketing, advertising, and business development. Stay in Love TV, purposeful entertainment driven by love, empowered with passion, fueled with faith. Go to www.stayinlovetv.com and let's get started.